Hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer Butler from Los Angeles. I am called a color and design specialist, and I love empowering you with your visual communication. And today, what around me is my skin tone, relatedness, my eye color, the mirror of the soul, and a neutral one of my reds, and my skin tone, which is about friendship. And so, this is my palette. And you can see by wearing all of these colors that I become more of myself. And that was not the case many years ago. When I looked at the psychology of color, I was what we call sublimated. I was the person who tried to be everybody else in what was in fashion and lost who I was. And I had many client stories that are similar. One of the most recently was someone who had done the personality test, and she felt she had a very clear sense of who she was. She worked in the PR field, right? So she had to really present herself a lot in the public. And so I'm going to show you through the vision boards. This is how she said, I've taken your quiz, and this is who I am. In this, I'm very soft, I'm very subtle. I feel like I'm process oriented. And so I was doing her palette online, and I can do it when I have really good pictures of people. And I said, it's interesting, I did try this for you, and I laid out a color palette, but then I really thought about it more. And what happened is when I reviewed the palette again, you became this. And she said, oh, wow, that's really strong. And I said, yes, that's really who you are. One of the ways you can do that, you can see here, this is much more muted. And so when I did the color palette, this ended up being too dull. Now, when I painted the skin tone and looked at it, her skin tone was more of an icier color, and it belonged over here. And what was funny is when I described the winter palette, the drama, the importance of the silhouette, the ability to hold extremes is in our DNA. The ability for black and white discernment and different levels of discernment. This woman is the divine feminine, and this woman is the priestess. And so it's wonderful to understand our archetype. And so that day, her life changed. And now she's going to be owning her own power. So a lot of it for all of us is the issue of our power. So if you're spring, your greatest concern is, oh, no, I'm not going to be taken seriously. So then you don't dress with the whimsy or youthfulness. What happens with the summer is they feel that they aren't strong enough. So they'll try to dress in black or white or colors that are too strong, and then they lose their femininity. And then the autumn is the opposite. They feel they're too strong. So they don't dress in these colors because they feel they need to hide out because they're the lioness in the jungle here. And then the winter, for me, I was always afraid of being too distant. I knew that was in my personality, and I thought, oh no, I don't want to be too distant from people. And so instead of dressing the winter, I dress actually every other season. But the story of success is really based in your authenticity. Mother Nature's given you all the tools. She loves you unconditionally. And what I know about you is that you're beautiful, you're a work of art, and you're complete exactly the way you are. And so it is. Thank you.